Happy Friday to you. It's an amazing time again to be alive and be well. And you have an opportunity to do some amazing things today. As long as you're breathing, life is not over. As long as you're here, you have another opportunity. Well, today is an awesome day for us to have dialogue and conversation. Today, we're going to talk about protecting your peace and guarding your sanity. Oh, it's going to be a good conversation this morning. And so, as we get ready to engage in this conversation, let me place this disclaimer out for us today. This Facebook Live does not reflect the life of anyone that I know personally. We do not use this platform to tear down fellow pastors, business leaders, community leaders, or anyone that we know directly. This platform is used as an opportunity to share truths on certain concepts and issues that have been selected for discussion. This broadcast has been paid for by the issues that have made me a better me. So now that we are in this moment, I want you to take this opportunity to give someone else the moment to join you. And that's by sharing, tagging, posting, all right, and giving them an opportunity to join this conversation this morning. Now, you have the awesome opportunity to engage in the conversation with your hearts and your likes, and or take advantage of the comment section where you're able to comment, ask questions, dialogue, interact as we engage in this conversation. All right, let's begin, my brothers and my sisters. All right, let's begin here about protecting your peace. All right, my brother, hey, let's walk together. That's what I'm talking about. So let's begin with protecting your peace. I want to just be aggressive this morning by saying one of the most valuable things that you can ever own in life is your peace. Let me tell you, one of the most valuable things that you could ever own in life is your peace. Listen, you don't know how valuable peace is until you have gotten it, and you will never know how valuable peace is until you have lived a life that is filled with chaos, toxicity, drama, all these other things. And the moment that you get peace, oh, let me tell you, that thing is valuable. Now, when you get peace, peace comes through a variety of decisions. That's why when you are moving towards a peace-filled life, that you cannot make decisions that's going to make other people happy at the detriment of your sanity or your emotional stability. Let me see. Peace is necessary. Peace is necessary. Listen, I often watch people that are also in church or Christian that love God, but their lives are toxic. That their lives are filled with so much drama, so much stuff that it causes you to question, how can they know such of a great God and their lives are so chaotic? Well, here, when you get peace, the thing about peace is that you are responsible for protecting your own peace. And how do you protect your peace? You cannot protect something that you don't know that you have. That it is up to you to be able to identify when you know that your life has just entered a state of peace. Now listen, peace is not a direct reflect of your financial status or your economic stability. That's not a direct reflect. See, peace begins on the inside. How many of you can remember days where you just didn't worry about things? It seems like things are troublesome for other people, but you appear to be not bothered. Have you ever had people in your life get upset with you because they feel like you should be upset, you should be angry, that you should be reacting. But once you enter that state of peace, you don't react the same way to life, circumstances, crisis, trauma, difficulty. You don't react or respond the same way the moment that you encounter a life of peace. Now, the moment that you encounter peace, you got to know that it's your responsibility to protect that peace. So when you're protecting that peace, you cannot expect people that have never had peace in their life and people that are not interested in having peace in their life at right now to be concerned about protecting your peace. Have you ever heard that statement, misery loves company? Have you ever heard that statement, misery loves company? Let me tell you, here's the truth, okay? That there are some people in your life that will never be happy that you're happy. Some people are in your life and they need you to be miserable. Some people in your life need you to be angry about something. Some people in your life want you to be upset about something. Some people in your life get in an attitude when you are not angry, when you're not upset. Let me tell you, how do you get to that place of peace? I'm going to tell you how you get there. You get to a place of peace when you realize that forgiveness is your greatest asset. See, I just told you that peace is one of the most valuable things that you can own, but forgiveness is your greatest asset. See, forgiveness is your greatest asset. See, not only should you forgive others, but you have to learn how to forgive yourself. But the irony in protecting your peace is that you can never protect your peace if you continue to remain accessible to everybody. See, you can only protect your peace when you have boundaries. See, you got to establish boundaries in your life and not apologize for boundaries that make you better. Do you understand what I'm telling you? See, you got to apply boundaries in your life and then not apologize for boundaries that make you better. You know, the thing that I find interesting is that people have it customized in their life that they can make boundaries between them and strangers. But it's not the strangers most of the time that become the problem. It's not strangers, neither is it enemies. Usually are the people that upset people's peace. It's usually close friends, family members, children, siblings, or parents that usually upset people's peace. Do you know that when a person don't have control of their peace, all of these outside personnel can destroy your relationships? Why? Because you got to realize that when you start to give unnecessary access to anyone and you don't have any level of balance in your life, not only balance, but courage to protect your boundaries, then what happened, you'll end up becoming a person that will say one thing, but you'll do another. See, protecting your peace, again, this is not about enemies. Why? Because usually in a common human relationship, people will keep a distance between them and their enemies. So it's not even about your enemies. So I'm not even here to talk about them. So I'm here to talk about the people that you have in your life that you are afraid to place boundaries between you and them. Do you know that there are so many people that they need to protect their peace, but what happens is they don't guard their access. And let me tell you that they hang out with people and they let people speak anything in their ears and they never correct anyone. They never say anything. Why? Because sometimes when you're going through life, you end up with people that have journeyed with you, but just because they journeyed with you don't mean they understand you. See, and there are many people that just are tormented at the idea of protecting their peace. So let me tell you, they either do one extreme or the other. So let me give you the two extremes. One extreme is either they try to avoid everyone and live an isolated life, Or the second extreme, if they're not avoiding everyone, the second extreme is that they're trying to be accessible to everyone, and then they indoctrinate themselves by a selfish theology that suggests that, you know what, I'm trying to be Christ-like. No, I don't need you to be Christ-like. I just need you to be transformed. See, here's the thing that we got to understand about protecting your peace. You cannot protect a peace that you don't know that you possess. See, there are many people that the moment that they get peace in their life, what they end up doing is that now they want to try to go back and have conversations, relationships, and interactions with people that have hurt them. You cannot reconcile a relationship by yourself. Don't you understand? The only one-way road is the road of forgiveness. That you do not need your offender, people that have hurt you, people that have let you down, people that have disappointed you. You don't need them present in order for you to forgive them. But if you're going to reconcile, reconciliation is a two-way road. You cannot reconcile a relationship based on the premise that you're now in a state of peace. No, there are many people that are using peace. They're using peace as a camouflage in order to access and communicate with people that don't want to communicate with them anymore. No, the moment that you are living your life and you're trying to make sure that you conversate and you interact with people that have done you wrong, that doesn't mean necessarily that you are being Christ-like. No, that doesn't mean that. Well, what that could suggest is that every time you want to have a conversation with people that have hurt your feelings, let you down, disappointed you, made you upset, it could be that you're not over them. Now listen to what I've already said. I'm not talking about strangers. Most of the time, statistics say that people are deeply hurt by people that they've brought into close proximity with them. People that they now trust. People that they now believe in. Do you know how many parents are listening to me right now and they have never admitted that they've been hurt by their children? They've been disappointed by their children. They've been let down by their children. Do you know how many of them have never admitted that, you know what, my siblings, even though I love them, have hurt me, have let me down? Do you know how many will never admit that, yes, I was hurt by my parents, or I was hurt by my friends, my childhood friends that I grew up with? Do you know how many of them will never admit that? Why? Because what they've been taught about friendship is that friendship should never come with pain. Let me tell you, if you're going to protect your peace, you got to understand that even when you love, pain is present. Even when you're friends, pain is present. But what causes you to remain friends is that you are able to apply forgiveness in the areas where forgiveness is needed. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to stop right here to tell you this clearly. Okay? Now, when you are in a process of forgiveness, one thing that people do not understand about forgiveness is that people have a tendency of wanting to forgive and then have conversation. Let me tell you that every time you forgive, it does not warrant you to initiate a conversation. Talking about, let's talk about it. I want to tell you what happened. I want to tell you how I feel. No, when you're protecting your peace and you've gone through forgiveness, every now and then there are moments in your life, not always, but there are moments in your life where you got to learn how to live and move on. See, it's a quiet, sanctified church here today. All right, did you hear what I just told you? There are some moments in your life where you got to learn how to forgive and move on. All right, let me say this one more time. There are some moments in your life where you got to learn how to forgive and move on. See, the reason that some people don't protect their peace is because they want to have a moment to talk about something when they've never been heard in a situation. And let me tell you something. Everything that comes up in your heart does not warrant a conversation. My brothers and sisters, you got to learn how to let it go. See, if you're going to live and protect your peace, you got to understand protecting your peace is connected to you guarding your sanity. Oh, Lord. See, some people are really insane, but they don't have anybody to tell them that they are insane. Why? Because people want to leave insanity up to people that have coping mechanisms, people that are on substance abuse. They want to leave insanity up to those kinds of people. But no, let me go and clarify for all of us. No, you are insane if you are trying to reason with a fool. All right, now I can use the word fool because the Bible used the word fool. So let me clean that up for some of you that have soft ears. All right, let me tell you, you are actually insane if you're trying to understand somebody that's making you crazy. Why in the world are you wanting in your heart to try to comprehend and understand someone or some people that just don't understand you? Okay, I'm going to give you an answer to that. The reason that some people don't protect their peace, my brothers and sisters, is because they've never been accepted and they've never been understood. So they spend their life wanting to one day be accepted and understood by people that have rejected them. So what happens, rather than forgiving and moving forward with your life, what happens is that you will stand still, like I'm standing still now, and you'll start marking time, and you'll be trying to wait for people that have never understood you to come back to understand you. And then the even greater detriment to protecting your peace is when you're waiting for someone that don't think they owe you an apology to come back and apologize. Let me tell you something. If you're living and you're breathing and you're standing, why are you waiting for someone that is conceited, that is selfish, that is self-centered to acknowledge their error, turn around, come back to you and apologize? No, let me tell you what happens for many people. The moment that you continue waiting for people to turn around and come back and apologize to you, it can suggest that you are indebted to them emotionally. You got to learn how to forgive and move on. Listen, you cannot reconcile a relationship by yourself. Let me tell you what I'm saying here. The reason you can't reconcile a relationship by yourself, you got to realize that it takes two to be in a relationship. I am not talking about your enemies. I'm talking about these people that you keep hanging on to that's affecting your peace. Do you understand that when your peace is disrupted, that it will affect your spending, that it will affect your other relationships, that it will affect your decision-making skills, that when your peace is disrupted, it can also affect your health. When your peace is disrupted, it can affect your spirituality. My brothers and sisters, that when you get peace, that listen, it is not the job of the Holy Spirit to protect your peace. See, the Bible says it like this, that he'll give you a peace that surpasses all understanding. Watch this. Let me tell you what this means. That when you get peace, that he'll give you a peace that doesn't make sense to people that don't have peace. So let me tell you. So you will find yourself at some point in life in conflict. You'll find yourself in hardship. You'll find yourself in chaos. You'll find yourself in crisis. But when you have peace, my brothers and sisters, when he gives you that peace, it is not the job of the Holy Spirit. Some of you call him the Holy Ghost. That is the same thing. It is not the job of the Holy Spirit or the Holy Ghost to protect your peace. Once you have peace, it is your human job to protect your peace. But the reason that many people can never protect their peace is because they never guard their mind. See, you got to understand, you got to be able to identify things, places, and people that make you crazy. And I'm intentionally saying it that way. You got to be able to identify things, places, and people that make you crazy. All right. What do I mean by crazy? I'm talking about you have temporary states of insanity that you're not able to comprehend, or you're not able to reason your thoughts or settle your thoughts and make a conscious decision. You're not able to really just take a step back and think through the decision that you're getting ready to make. No, my brothers and sisters, you got to be able to identify these things. Let me tell you something. Be mindful of people in your life that manipulate you when you're in weak moments. All right. Now let me talk about manipulation. Manipulation, I'm talking about they know that you're going to give. They know that you're going to give, so they know the way to say it. They know that you're going to help, so they know the way to ask it. They know that you're going to change your life and be present for them. I like the way the late Stephen Covey said it. The late Stephen Covey says that a lack of preparation on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. Let me say this again, because see, some of you all have forgot the late Stephen Covey. You remember the late Stephen Covey with the 7 habits? All right, let me remind you of what he said, because some of you need to rehearse this to yourself. See, a lack of preparation on someone else's part does not constitute an emergency on your part. What does that mean? That just because the house is burning down in somebody else's life does not mean that it warrants you to respond with an emergent response at that time. See, when you're protecting your peace, my brothers and sisters, you got to learn your boundaries. See, many people don't know their boundaries. Now, I'm going to say something to you that all of you know, but many of you are challenged with applying what I'm getting to tell you. Now, let me tell you what all of you know. Now, all of you know that no is a complete sentence. Many of you know that it is right for you to say no sometimes. But do you know that many of you are listening to me and you don't know how to say no? You know that you need to say no, but you don't know how to say no. Do you know that there are many of you that are listening to me? You know that there are times where you don't have it, but you don't know how to say, I don't have it. What? I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about time and capacity. I'm talking about emotional capacity. See, some of you, the reason that your peace is disrupted is because you open yourself up to listen to other people's drama, assuming that you have the capacity to help them. You open yourself up to listen to other people's chaos, thinking that you have psychological space to help them. No, you should be accountable enough to yourself to know when you can't handle no more than what's being placed on you. Why have you become somebody else's dumping ground when you have nothing to dump on yourself? Do you understand? So when you talk about protecting your peace, my brothers and sisters, that it is not wrong for you to protect your peace. The only time that protecting your peace offends anyone, it offends anyone that don't have peace. See, when you don't have boundaries and everybody can just have access to you. Now, I know you don't like what I'm telling you about having access to you. What I'm saying is that you got to have an accountability to yourself, and you got to know where your capacity levels are. You got to know when you can how much drama you can handle, how much problems of others you can handle, and you got to know when to say no. But no, but because you think more highly of yourself than you should be thinking, you just think that you can just handle everything everybody's talking about. You can handle everything that everybody's going through. So you're just gonna be depleted. You're gonna run your life. Oh, so you're just going to give yourself to every crisis, every issue, every situation. Listen, I know that many of you have seen on my social media the transformational journey that my son is going on. All right, but let me go and give you a truth. Now, one day you're going to get a chance to hear from him. All right, but my son is 26 years old, and my son has not always made all the right decisions. And the truth is that he's not making all the right decisions now. But let me go and give you some honesty. I cannot afford to put myself in position to rescue him from all the decisions that he's making as an adult child. You got to realize that when it's time for you to protect your peace, that sometimes, my brothers and sisters, you also got to protect your peace even around your children. See, some of you are not ready for that type of conversation, so I'm gonna just try to hit that like a speed bump and keep on moving. Why? Because let me tell you, you can never protect your peace And this is all I'm going to say about parenting and adult children. But you can never protect your peace with adult children if you haven't been healed of the parental relationships that you have with your own parents. See, the reason that some of you are indebted to your adult children is because because you are suffering from a parental inferiority complex, and you don't want them to say you're a bad dad or you're a bad mom. No. When your children are adults, it is not your job. It is not your job to continue parenting them. When they are adults, it is your job to coach them. And if they don't want your coaching, you can't take that personal. Stop allowing yourself to feel like you are not who you are because your child or your children don't make all the best decisions. You better learn how to protect your peace and learn how to go to bed at night. Why in the world are you up all night worrying about somebody that has made a whole decision by themselves? See, now, I know you're in your feelings right now. I know you are. I know you feel some type of way. So let me go and be transparent. And you might feel some type of way about me in a few moments. See, let me tell you, there was a moment in my life where I was being a bad boy, and I went to jail. Yes, I know it don't look like it. This is what transformation looked like. Praise God. I went to jail, and let me tell you, I called my mama. Okay? I called my mama. I told my mama I made a mistake. I told my mama that I made a bad decision and I was in jail. Let me tell you what my mama told me. She said, "You are where?" She said, "Okay." She said, "Well, I'm going to church." Do you hear what I'm telling you? My mama left me in jail and she took herself on to church. What I'm trying to get you to see is that in that moment, there was no need for me to be offended with my mother, because my mother was protecting her peace. My mother, even though she was disappointed in my decisions and choices, even though she was hurt by my decisions and choices, my mother was also guarding her sanity. At that point, she was saying to herself, I can see it. She was saying to herself, I done taught that boy, and I never expected him to make a decision that would land him in jail. But you know what? I got the peace of God. And what I'm not going to do is disrupt my life to be inconvenienced by someone that don't want my God. All right, now I'm going to go off that and go back to protecting your peace. What I'm trying to get you to see, my brothers and sisters, is that once you have peace, you can never apologize for the peace that you have. I want you to understand that there are times in your life, my brothers and sisters, that you're going to have friends that will no longer remain in your life because you have peace. You have some relationships that will not sustain because you have peace. You got some people in your life that will not go with you through the next door of opportunity, the next dimension of your life, because you have peace. You got to understand that you're not in control of your life, and that when doors of opportunity are happening for you, stop minimizing your growth so that you can have comfort with temporary insanity. Why in the world are you minimizing who you can become, what you can do, so that you can have relationships and friendships with people that's been in your life the entire time? Why are you doing that to yourself? The moment that you minimize who you can become so that you can make other people comfortable, you are not accepting who you really can be. What you are suggesting to yourself is that I'm going to grow and we all are going to grow together. My brothers and sisters, where did you get that from? Why are you thinking that way? Don't you understand that you got siblings? You got brothers and sisters. Matter of fact, you got friends. Don't you understand that if you look at you and your siblings, if you look at you and your childhood friends, don't you realize by now that all of you have grown in different ways and different directions? Don't you understand that all of you may have different aspirations? All of you may have different goals. All of you may have different dreams. My question to you, after all of these years, how is it that you are the only one sitting around assuming that you're protecting your peace because you want to make sure that you give all of them access, but they don't ask you any question when they buy a house? They don't ask you a question when they get married. They don't ask you a question when they're moving out the state. They don't ask you a question when they're going on vacation. But you and your sanctified self, you're sitting around and you're waiting for all of them to be happy in your evolution. Why are you doing that to yourself? Who told you to do that? See, you cannot protect your peace if you're making a decision to be crazy. All right, I'm sorry. There are people that are listening to me and they are highly offended by words like crazy. So let me rephrase what I'm saying. How is it that you are sitting around and you're waiting for people to be happy for you when you've made a decision to be daft? When you have made a decision to be insane, when you have chosen to be irrational, when you have selected on your own premise that you will minimize who you really are so that others can accept you. Why in the world are you saying, well, I want to protect my peace, but the only people you protect your peace from is from your enemies, but you don't say anything and you don't do anything about these people that's around you, that's robbing you of your psychological aptitude or your intellectual aptitude? Why in the world are you doing this? Who told you to do it? Oh, my bad. What you're telling me is, well, man of God, I got saved and I'm a Christian and I want to be the better person. Well, who in the world told you that you needed to be a dumping ground for people that don't expect you to grow up? Now, you can take that and tell them that Dr. Roosevelt Ethridge said it, Apostle Roosevelt Ethridge said it, Roosevelt Ethridge said it, Roosevelt said it. You could, whatever name you want to use for me, you could put it on me. Why in the world are you sitting around and you're talking about you want to protect your peace, but you're waiting for people that has never believed in you? You're waiting for people that has never, watch this. I'm not talking about believing in you when you was a child or when you was a teenager or when you was in high school. How many people believe that you could be the greatest in the earth as an adult with your failures included? See, just because you made a failure or you had a loss don't mean that you can't overcome. It doesn't mean that you can't turn things around. Lord, have mercy. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that when you're protecting your peace, stop being passive. You cannot protect your peace and be passive at the same time. See, you got to learn very, very quickly that the moment that you get peace in your life, that there are times in your life that you got to be able to do this. You got to be able to create distance between you and your doubters. Eddie, it seems like you're the only person I'm talking to. Everybody else, they looking at me. They're looking at me real strange this morning. And yeah, am I getting aggressive? Yeah, because in order to protect your peace, you got to be aggressive. Do you understand what I just said? Is that you got to learn to put distance between you and your doubters. See, I'm not telling you to dismiss your doubters because you need them. Why? Because you got to show them that you can rise above. Watch this. You can rise above calamity. You need your doubters. Why in the world you want to dismiss them? No, let them sit right there. But why are you wanting your doubters to be the ones that's going to lift you up? Listen, I'm trying not to talk about all these people that you love, but I'm trying to be honest. You telling me you got this deep affinity for all these different people that's in your life. But when you're talking about protecting your peace, the moment that you had ultra insanity, the moment where you could not bring yourself together, the people you holding on to was not holding on to you. And you holding on to them. Now let me clarify holding on. What I am actually meaning by holding on to them, you are continuing to give them the same level of access. See, don't you understand that there are times in your life, my brothers and sisters, that you got to learn how to lift yourself up, but you cannot motivate yourself around people that's doubting you. My brothers and sisters, you motivate yourself with doubters when you now move from outside of those doubters. Now, let me tell you something else that's very important, that when it's time for you to protect your peace, that many people deny themselves of an opportunity to become everything that they could become because they hang around small-minded people. See, listen, everybody can have great ideas, but it don't mean that they have great capacity. See, a good idea is nothing if you don't have courage to follow it or courage to go after it. Protecting your peace is necessary. That there are too many people that act like they're protecting their peace, but they're not protecting their peace. They're being a dumping ground. They're being nice. They're being open for everybody. Listen to me. When you have peace, you don't owe anybody an apology. When you have peace, you don't owe anybody an explanation. But I've seen time and time and time and time and time and time and time again, when people get peace, then people that were in their past have a tendency of showing back up. Why in the world would you let a person that was in your past, that did not believe you could become, a person that have not chosen to operate in forgiveness, a person that had chosen not to operate in reconciliation, why would you let a person in your past come back and disrupt your present peace? Let me tell you something. You don't, when you have peace, the people in your life, they ain't got to like what in the world is happening. You got to be able to protect your own peace. And when you learn to protect that peace, stop trying to be validated by people that wasn't present when you received the peace. God have mercy. I got to stop right there. Lord have mercy, Eddie. I felt my preach coming on, and I'm not out here to preach, but I felt something happen right there, because there are too many people that are Christian, that are saved, and they love God, but they're weak, they're passive, and they're inconsistent. There are too many people that are saved and that they love God, but they're weak. Lord have mercy. They are passive and they're inconsistent. See, how is it that you can love God with all your heart, but then you allow people that was not even present when God changed your heart, gave you goals, gave you dreams, gave you capacity and courage to pursue, and now you let these uncircumcised Philistines back in your life, and you let them make decisions for you. You let them make suggestions for you. You let them give you critique. You let them give you their ideas for your life, and then you trust them. Why in the world will you trust anybody that didn't have the courage or the fortitude to stand with you when you had nothing? Oh my God. Let me tell you something. See, all right, see, some of y'all playing with me this morning. Y'all playing, y'all not being honest. Let's go down memory lane. All right. Now, all right, some of you been through a divorce. Don't you remember these same friends, these same family members? See, when your marriage was rocky, that they wasn't present. But the moment you signed the bill of divorce, they tell you how much they didn't like your ex-spouse. They tell you how they didn't really approve of your relationship. They tell you how they're there for you. But now you need to watch these same jokers. Watch these same jokers. Because what you don't know is that these same jokers that's happy that you're divorced, that they're also happy that you're single. What do you mean, man of God? What I mean here is that you got to be mindful of these people that's celebrating the fact that now you ain't got nobody, and that you ain't dating nobody, and you're not engaged to anybody, and that they're happy because they got access to you full time, that they call you anytime, they ask you to go out anytime, they invite you to everything, that when they in financial crisis, now they ask you for help, and they not looking for you to be engaged or involved with anybody else. Why? Because they like you by yourself. The same people. These ain't your enemies. Your enemies ain't have nothing to do with what you were going through. But now these same people that's around you, you better take 2 steps back and open up your eyes and watch. Listen to me. Listen, I know you're trying to protect your children, but your children are in the same situation. Watch this now. They say, oh, well, daddy was hurting. Oh, mama was hurting. But now you got to also be mindful now. Why? Because them same jokers are sitting right there saying, now I don't want them to have nobody, because I know what's best for them. You better be mindful of incompetent people that you are allowing to indoctrinate your life with critique that has nothing to do with them, because they're controlling you and they're manipulating you emotionally. You better learn how to protect your peace. And the way you protect your peace, sometimes you got to learn to be quiet. You got to learn to shut up and be quiet. That's what you got to do. You sitting around talking about, I'm waiting on God. Well, how much longer are you going to wait on God? No. Let me go and give you a truth. The truth is that if you have not made a conscious decision to not be involved, it could be that you are in a place in your life where you're waiting on them to approve who you are. And you have never been endorsed by these people. And let me tell you, let me clarify again. These people can be siblings. These people can be children. These people can be friends. These people can be cousins. These people can be parents. I'm not talking about a stranger that you don't know. Don't you find it ironic that the moment you get peace, that people that were not present when you got peace have a interesting outlook on your life now? Have you ever noticed that? That the moment you get happiness, the moment you get peace, the moment you get joy, now they want to come and suggest to you how you need to manage your peace and your joy. And have you ever realized how you have ever listened to them? Listen to me. If you're going to protect your peace, you better learn how to ignore foolishness. See, there's so much I can give you, because protecting your peace is not the job of the Holy Spirit. Listen, you sitting here and you're trying to be a super Christian by now being present for everybody. Why are you doing that? Who told you to do that? Matter of fact, who told you that the moment you got healed, you're supposed to go back and pick up everybody that dropped you? Who gave you that? Who gave you that ideology? Who told you that that was real? Who told you that that's the truth? Where did you get that from? Oh, now that I'm saved, now that I'm healed, now that I'm better, I'm going to go back and pick up everybody. Listen, my son has just started his journey. I tell him on a daily basis. One day y'all going to hear from him. I tell him on a daily basis. Now, son, listen, when your life is moving forward, you better not go back and try to pick up those jokers. Why? Because there are some people that's not happy about your healthiness. And what they'll do is set you up to sabotage you, to put you back in an emotional prison, to where now you pick back up coping agents because you don't know how to deal with your own life. You better learn how to let people go on and be on when they've decided not to stay with you. See, one of the most valuable things that I've learned in life, all right, one of the most valuable things that I've learned in life about protecting my peace is accepting when people can't deal with me anymore. Is actually, watch this, and not being angry. See, in my young years, I would be in my feelings. I would act angry. I would act out. I would have an attitude. But you guess what I've learned? Now that I've aged a little bit, I've realized that adults can make adult decisions. And when a person can't deal with me, when a person says that it is time for them to do something else, guess what? I am okay with them being okay. Why? Because if you can't do me, then please go be better. Right? See, when you start protecting your peace, you'll start understanding that there's no need to take adult decisions personal. It's quiet. It's quiet right now. It is quiet here. Let me say this again, and then I think I'm going to let you go. That when you are protecting your peace, you are going to learn to not take adult decisions personal. See, this ain't, Lord have mercy. See, when you are protecting your peace, you got to realize that human beings, especially adults, can make whatever decision is necessary for their lives. But why are you taking it as a personal attack against yourself? My brothers and sisters, you better let people live. If you're going to protect your peace, you better let people live. And let me tell you something. If you cannot handle the growth that is happening in somebody else's life, why in the world are you following them on social media? If you cannot handle the growth and the sustainability, the expansion that is happening in somebody's life, why in the world are you letting mutual friends come give you updates about them? You better learn how to shut people down and say, listen, I'm glad that they're doing great, but I do not need an update today. I'm glad that your friendship is being maintained, but I do not need to know how well that they are doing. You better learn how to protect your sanity. And listen to me here. No, you don't have to delete everybody, but you can unfollow them. Why in the world are you sitting around talking about I don't want them to be offended? No, the problem is you are afraid that they'll never come back. Listen to me. If a person has the fortitude to walk out of your life, then let them. Now, don't find yourself in a place, if you're trying to protect your peace, talking about, well, I ain't gonna let nobody do this to me no more. I'm not even gonna let them come back. No, the moment that you do that is the same moment, it's the same attitude that you're operating in offense. See, how you do this, if you're gonna protect your peace, when a person walks out of your life, you need to find the quickest process to forgiveness, so that if they decide to return, if they decide to reconcile, that you can reconcile reconcile and you can let them back in your life based on the premise that you have already operated in forgiveness. But you cannot walk in true forgiveness if you have not dealt with the memories of the pain. See, if you're going to protect your peace, my brothers and sisters, you got to get to a place in your life where when you're protecting your peace, that you got to know that it is my job to protect my peace. Why? Because I got too many things at stake. I got too many things at risk. If I don't protect my peace in this decision, then I could risk everything that I am now managing. See, I got a personal commitment. I refuse to be saved, classified a Christian, and filled by the Holy Spirit and be insane. I'm not going to do it. No, I am not going to do it. And I'm not going to let anybody make me insane. I don't care how much I love them. You're not going to make me crazy. And you're not going to guilt me into insanity. The moment I snap into myself. So let's talk about sanity. Matter of fact, I've had you on for a while now. Probably too long. So if you want me to talk about insanity for a few moments, then you give me some hearts and likes on the screen. And then I talk about insanity. How do you guard this space? All right. But I'm only going to talk to real people right now. I'm only going to talk to real people. Okay. All right. Now, listen. Insane. Insanity is when you are forcing yourself to make a decision in anything. You are insane. If you are overriding yourself emotionally to make a decision, you are insane. If you are in a place to where you are quoting 40 scriptures to try to help you make a decision, you, my friend, are insane. Don't you understand that life is simple? We make it complex. That life is so simple that you make a decision. For every decision, there are consequences. So you have to be adult enough, grown enough, man enough, woman enough to just make a decision. But see, insane people don't want the responsibility of their decision. I just need to turn in a circle. Did you hear what I said? Insane people do not want the responsibilities of their decision or of the consequences of their decision. See, when you're protecting your sanity, your sanity is connected to your peace. And you are required to protect one and guard the other. So let me give you a few things that will make you imbalanced psychologically that you may not have considered. Okay, all right, so let's start here. If you watch certain things, I'm talking about movies, anything, certain types of movies, okay? And listen, I'm not talking about scary movies. I'm not talking about horror movies. Like if you just indoctrinate yourself with certain information all the time, then guess what? Your life, you'll start looking in life for these types of things to happen. All right, so let me give you an example. All right, do you know how many people do not like drama, right? All right, I'm going to raise my hand. I don't like drama. You know how many people don't like drama? They just don't like drama. But do you know how many people watch movie and watch social media that's filled with drama? They say they don't like it, but they indoctrinate themselves by watching it and listening to it. Do you know the more you take in those type of stuff, the more that your life will now become acclimated to those types of things? I know what you're saying, but I like it for the humor. There's no way for you to guard yourself from overconsumption. Do you know how many people say that they do not like gossip? but they let everybody come dump on them. But they tell you, I don't like gossipers. I don't like liars. But they answer the phone for everybody. They try to consult everybody in every traumatic experience that they have. But they tell you they don't like gossip. There is no way that you can protect yourself from overconsumption from people that's using you as a dumping ground. See, I know you're trying to say I'm saved, but you're human. You're not so saved that you're not human. Why in the world are you taking in all of that information? All right, let me give you another one. People say, I don't like to be taken advantage of. I don't like people to use me. But do you know how many people that every time a person is in an economic crisis or a financial challenge, what do? They go run and help them. They go run and support them. But then they turn around and say, God, send me a harvest. But you're helping everybody with the harvest that God has given you. And the truth is that everybody you're helping, you have not been assigned to help, but you're helping because there have been moments in your life where people didn't help you. And so now you want to go and help everybody. You want to be their saving grace. Why in the world are you in the way of God? Some of these things that you have decided to do was not assigned to you to do. And you are sitting around and you are now trying to be great. Why? Because people in your life that see that you are doing better, now they're obligating you to helping them because you have now become successful. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? You got a raise on your job. You got an increase with your clients. You have now grown. And now the people that did not help you become, the people that did not push you to becoming, now they're obligating you emotionally to come back and rescue them when they're not even willing to rescue themselves. And you are now saying that I'm obligated to do that because you know I'm a Christian. You know I'm saved. You know God wants me to do this. No, the truth that you're not willing to admit, the truth that you're not willing to embrace, the truth is that the reason you're doing that is because you don't want those people to think that you are a bad person. You don't want those people to think that you won't help them. You don't want those people to think that you don't love them. So you go against what your brain is thinking. You override what your feelings are saying, and you say, well, let me go be the big person and let me go help them. And now you have subjugated your peace to a decision that you made on your own. And the moment that you're in a hardship, you are expecting those same people to come back and help you and support you and push you. And when you cannot access them, now you're in an attitude and you're sitting around saying, nobody won't help me. It's just me against the world. No, it's not you against the world. It's you against you against the decisions that you've made that have produced consequences in your life. That's what's happening. And so your peace is disrupted. See, I can talk a lot about protecting peace. See, I even protect my peace even with my own mama. Many of you know my mother. But I protect, because I've learned something in life, that the moment that you are moving in success, the moment that you are trying to be progressive, my brothers and sisters, you cannot be progressive and not guard your sanity. You cannot be progressive and watch this and be intentional, because guess what? Growth is hard. Advancing is challenging. You cannot do either if you're not willing to protect your peace. You, my friend, gotta do a better job at protecting your peace. Like, it is crazy that church people can sit around talking about demons and devils, but then they can't protect their peace. Church people can sit around and talk about each other, but then they cannot protect their own peace from the people that's robbing them of their peace. It's the most amazing thing that I have ever seen in my life. question is, so what are you going to do? Some of you don't know how to protect your peace. So I'm going to give you some options. Either you need to go get you a life coach, you need to go to a counselor or a therapist. Find you a pastor that has skill in helping people develop. Trust the process that they give you. Many people cannot protect their peace because they're trying to use a system or apply a concept that they've been trying all their life. And can you realize that the concept you've been trying don't work? Hello, can you admit the process that you've been using is dysfunctional? Why are you going to continue to try to do what you've been doing and the thing you've been doing has been disrupting your peace? And listen to me. Anybody that's coaching you, counseling you, giving you therapy, anybody that's doing any of those things, if they're not able to challenge you, then they're not good for you. If you're going into the session and you know everything that needs to be done, then you don't need a coach. You got to learn to trust somebody. Sometimes the reason your peace is disrupted is because the only person you trust is yourself. Don't you realize that you can't get into your greatest status trusting yourself? Sometimes you got to sit down and be quiet. And you got to, as the Bible says, you got to become like a little child and become teachable. The reason that many people in the church is not protecting their peace is because they know too much. You can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them anything because they know too much. Well, sometimes you got to realize if you don't know how to protect your peace, you might need to listen to somebody. And as a pastor, let me say this. I love the Bible. See me? I love the Bible. But for some of you that are like me, you need some concepts that go beyond the Bible. So please don't say, well, I'm just going to read my word. All right, that might be why you're insane. I'm just going to go in prayer. Well, that could be why you're just insane. Well, you know what? I'm just going to pray about it. But that could be why your peace ain't all there. Because you're using spiritual tactics in order to avoid real situations. And the moment that you say, I'm praying about it, that says that you don't want nobody to talk to you. The moment that you say that you're going to read your word, that's the moment that you're saying you don't want no suggestions. The moment that you're saying that you gave it to God, that's the moment that you're saying, I'm avoiding it and I don't want to address it. I had to give that to you since you are smart. And so when you go to your counselor, your therapist, and you start talking about God, let me tell you, all professionals are trained that when you use that terminology, there's no need to give you any concepts that's going to work because you've stopped listening. Since you're smart, I give you that for free. Since you're smart. So at the end of the day, the reason that your peace could be disrupted is because you are putting so much credibility on your own intelligence. When I love what the scripture says, lean not to thine own understanding. Acknowledge God in all his ways and he will direct thy path. Now watch this. The direct thy path part is what we get screwed up. See, we think that the direct thy path part means that he always going to lead us outside of people. No, you better you better get you some help. Now, the last thing I'm going to tell you about getting help, because honestly, I help a lot of people. All right. I serve a lot of people. A lot. I serve people in different capacities. You'll be surprised some of the rooms I'm in and some of the doors I'm in, some of the people that I talk to, you will actually be surprised. But I said that to say this, that if you're going to get help, your help needs to be inside of confidentiality. It needs to be inside of the door of confidentiality. You can't sit around, my brothers and sisters, and talk to people that's going to preach about you. Talk about you. Understand? See, sometimes relationships have become broken because they put too much trust in the other individual. when in actuality you might have needed a professional versus a friend. Eddie, did I make that plain? I try to make that plain. Eddie, did I make that plain? Let me try. Like, maybe you needed a professional versus a friend. You know what I'm saying? And maybe your relationship, your friendship busted up because you put too much expectation on the friendship. On the friendship. Protecting your peace, my brothers and sisters, is worth it. So go protect it. What are you waiting? Yeah, listen. I'm gonna close with this. And these are truths. There are people in your life that will never be happy with you when you start protecting your peace. Stop waiting for them to be happy. There are some friendships that will end when you start protecting your peace. Stop trying to hold on to them. There are some doors that will close when you start protecting your peace. Stop trying to keep the door open. There are doors that are supernatural that will open when you start protecting your peace. Learn how to walk through them. You understand? When you're protecting your peace, stop looking for social media validation. When you are protecting your peace, stop looking for social media validation. People on social media don't know you. And when you're protecting your peace, you don't need validation from social media. 2 more truths. When you are protecting your peace, it comes with a cost. The cost of protecting your peace requires you to make necessary adjustments so that peace remain in your life. That means you cannot be in a state of peace and be everything to everybody. No, ma'am. No, sir. The last thing about protecting your peace. When you're protecting your peace, you're not obligated to go back and show people that you are doing better. You don't need to flaunt your growth. You don't need to flaunt your health in front of anybody that wasn't present during your survival. So be mindful of where you go, because it could be a trap to put you back in an emotional prison and in a psychological jail. You better know when you get strong enough. And when you start learning those types of things, you'll start protecting your peace. Now, I am willing to respond to any question or anything, okay? I'm going to get off this Facebook Live because obviously I've been on here a long time. And as you can see, I got a long ways to go, right? And so I got to let you do what you're doing. So go be great. Go be amazing.